lifting up.
Three, two, one.
Happy Hump Day! Welcome to our KSAT News Now, our bite-sized streaming newscast, and you have guest host today, You have me and Stephen Cavazos.
Yes, always great to hang out with Sarah Coast any day of the week, but especially on KNN. We have the best time.
Yes, lovely to have you here. Stephen and I know we've said this before the last time we did this show together. We go way back.
We go way back.
Back to our Corpus days.
Yeah, we're like Romeo and Michelle.
I love that. But so happy that you're here today, Stephen.
We had a lot to get to as well. I mean, today is Dia de los Muertos, if you notice Sarah's earrings, and we asked for you to send in those photos of your altar or who you're honoring. We're going to share some of those a little bit later on.
I love everything Dia de los Muertos. Did you go down to Muertos Fest this weekend?
I didn't, but I saw our newscast. It was amazing. Just a fantastic job from everyone involved.
I got emotional at some of the altars because they were so beautiful, and especially the pet altars. Oh my gosh, when they put the collars out and the bowls out. But shout out to all the artists, the schools, the organizations. They did a great job with those altars at Muertos Fest. So we have other things to get to. Parents of Uvalde victims spending the holiday in Austin calling for change is one of our stories we're going to be talking about.
That's right. And another top story, the family of Erik Cantu is asking for prayers as the teen goes into surgery today. But first,
Houston police are left with few answers following the deadly shooting of rapper Takeoff early on Tuesday.
Takeoff, whose real name is Kirshnik Kari Ball, was killed outside a private party at a downtown Houston bowling alley.
So according to Houston Police Chief Troy Finner, most of the 40 people that were actually in attendance of that party, they ended up running away when those gunshots were fired. Finner says at least 2 people shot at the rapper.
Now, 2 others were struck by the gunfire, but were not seriously hurt. Houston police are asking anyone with information to come forward.
Okay, so Stephen, I had to actually Google who Takeoff was, and then I saw he was part of Migos. Had you heard of Migos?
Yeah, the Grammy-nominated trio, right.
So he was only 28 years old, and actually, I believe Quavo, another member of that group, was there at that party.
Yeah.
He wasn't hurt, and I had to look up also Offset. He is married to Cardi B. He's one of the most known Migos rappers because of his wife, Cardi B. He was also not there, and I know there's been some drama with the group.
Yeah, you know, I was actually reading as well, you know, and this is just according to the Associated Press. Takeoff was well respected, and that's according to the Houston police chief. And right now he believes that there's no reason, actually believe, I should say, that he was involved in any criminal activity. So, but that investigation is ongoing. We know that they're asking people to come forward. So obviously we're hoping to get more answers in the days ahead.
Yeah. All right. We're going to be looking more into that story. But today marks 1 month since 17-year-old Erik Cantu was shot by a former San Antonio police officer. Yeah,
that's right. A vigil was held at the McDonald's where those shots were fired last night. And Cantu's mother, Victoria Cáceres, says her son is scheduled to have an invasive surgery later today. She and the family were not able to attend last night's vigil, but wrote a letter to those that were there.
Yeah, so in that letter, it was a statement. She said, quote, James Brennan didn't have to gun down my child. He didn't have to mutilate his young body with bullets. Erik is the light of our lives. All we want for him is to recover.
That's right. SAPD officer James Brennan shot the 17-year-old on October 2nd in a north side McDonald's parking lot while Cantu sat there inside his car eating a burger.
So Brennan has since been fired and is now facing charges according to SAPD records viewed by our KSAT investigative team. Cantu evaded Brennan on October 1st in the same maroon BMW sedan he was driving the following night when he was shot. What those records are indicating.
And organizers of a candlelight vigil for Cantu also stated in a letter to the community that Brennan racially profiled, and this is quote, Brennan racially profiled Erik as Hispanic kid with a bowl haircut in a car that he may or may not have recognized as stolen, end quote.
So Stephen, this is a national story.
Right.
You know, a lot of eyes on this story. Ben Crump, the family's civil attorney, civil rights attorney that they hired, held that press conference last week, and he kept reiterating that same message that this is a racial profiling incident.
You know, and it's obviously right now the family in a very difficult position as well as they're waiting to see how the outcome of this invasive surgery will turn out. But one of the things they're also asking is that the community can work together to spotlight Erik's particular case and ensure something like this doesn't happen again. And of course, we have that full letter on our website at KSAT.com.
Yeah, our KSAT investigative team really dug into this story, and you can see all of their records that they found also on KSAT.com.
That's right. Well, an ofrenda with the faces of 21 victims killed at Robb Elementary was carried from the Capitol steps to the governor's mansion by families still grieving the loss of their loved ones and fighting for change.
that their messages came on Dia de los Muertos as they mourned their loved ones, 21 por 21, 21 for 21. That was the message from the families, the Uvalde victims, as they mourned those loved ones.
The families at the Capitol calling for gun law changes like raising the age to purchase an assault-style weapon to 21, implementing red flag laws, and increasing background checks.
So I thought this was really moving, especially on Dia de los Muertos or Dia de los Niños. Like I was talking about earlier, when you see those altars, and actually at Muertos Fest, they had an altar for the Uvalde children. They had 20 desks, Stephen.
Wow.
And then they had one desk for the teacher. And I don't know what it was, just seeing the desks and seeing their photos, and we've seen the victims' photos so many times, but just seeing those desks, I lost it. It was so emotional, but so beautiful at the same time. It was Lanier High School that put that together.
And I believe our Stefania Jimenez actually did a story about these desks that were being created by the students there. And one of the things that I thought was really touching is that Lee Waldman reported, as she's been out there consistently,
doing a great job,
that as they were carrying these ofrendas to the Capitol steps, they were met with quiet sobs as marigolds were being laid in their tribute. So obviously very emotional. And one of the messages I actually heard is that on Tuesday was that children's lives are on the ballot. So as we talked about some of these changes that the families are calling for, that is one of the things we also heard, that children's lives are on the ballot. So a very emotional time indeed.
Absolutely. Okay. To a lighter note, Stephen, you're kind of the man in charge of this charge, this hairy charge.
This hairy situation. Justin Horn is actually helping us out this year. The men in our newsroom are getting ready for that hairy situation this month. No Shave November is back. And so are the beards, and for me, the whiskers.
I love that you wear your whiskers proud.
I do. I'm like a cat.
Your whisker meow game.
Yeah. Yes.
Meow.
Yeah.
Okay, so No Shave November. It's become an annual tradition here, Stephen. Look at those whiskers. Mita, the whiskers.
We may have to zoom in at some point.
Okay, but all around the country, they've been doing this since 2009. A Chicago family actually reinvented the idea.
Yeah, that's the Hill family. They started a fundraising group on social media after their father, Matthew Hill, died of colon cancer, and that organization has since raised over $12 million and has helped cancer foundations around the country.
You love to see it.
Yeah.
So there are 13 nonprofits that will benefit this year, and 15 of our guys, you see them right there on your screen, or if you're listening to podcasts, you can check out their very handsome shaved, well-shaved faces pictures on KSAT.com. So last year, how much did you guys raise?
So last year, our team did exceptionally well, and it's all thanks to the community. We raised over $20,000. We were one of the top fundraising groups in the entire country, which is phenomenal.
Number 2, right?
No, we ended at number 2. We were at number 1 for about a whole 2 days until someone knocked us off our top spot. But nonetheless, I mean, our community, our donors gave so much because this is a cause they believe in. One of the things that I always say is that cancer is universal, but so is that compassion. We had a debrief at 9 about this earlier. Again, Justin Horn helping lead the efforts this year, but these are 15 guys in our newsroom. You can donate to any one of these guys or to our team as a whole. Just remember, you can always head over to our website, ksat.com/noshave. You'll find a full list of the guys that are participating there, but these are photographers, meteorologists, we have anchors, and I'm really glad to be a part of this team and these efforts again this year.
Yeah, just not on-air personalities. But my favorite part of this, yes, it's like for a good cause, but I love how it's done because it's done in a very friendly competition. I love it. So last year it was Mike, Justin, and Mark, the top 3, correct?
Yes.
Did you get knocked out? Is this
I
a sore
did.
subject?
It's a sore subject. David Sears actually knocked me off the top 5 spot, and I'm really happy that we obviously want to see everybody get the donations, but I got a little bit of an ego when it comes to the money raising.
So our listeners.
Now you know. This year, Stephen really wants to pull ahead in the competition.
My whisker man. Listen, every whisker counts.
That is so true.
Every whisker counts.
That is so true.
Thank you. Thank you. Guys.
What a great cause. And I love to see everybody from KSAT, all of our different departments kind of joining in for that.
It's a good time.
So it's fantastic. All right. So this morning, it was a little foggy out there in spots, especially along the I-35 corridor. We actually had some dense fog advisories that were in place this morning. So today's trivia question is a play off of that. So where is the foggiest place in the world? Our choices: Seattle, Washington, Boston, Grand Banks, Newfoundland, or London, England. What do y'all think?
This is hard.
I'm gonna go with C.
You're gonna. Okay.
Yeah,
that one sounds like the. Okay,
Our producer
Alyssa
says D.
I was gonna take either of those. Okay, I'm gonna have to go with A then Seattle. I don't think that's right though.
All right. Fair enough.
Sorry, that's I got it right.
Nice little happy dance. I wish y'all could have seen Steven's little happy dance.
Yes.
That was fantastic.
I always get these wrong. That's awesome.
There you go. Congratulations. So yes, Grand Banks, Newfoundland is actually the foggiest place in the world. This area forms the intersection of the cold Labrador Current from the north and the warmer Gulf Stream from the south. So those two currents mixing together, some good ingredients for fog.
Teacher, I have a question.
Let's hear it.
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't want to sound like I'm not educated, but can you give us a map of where Newfoundland is?
So it's off the coast of Canada. So
Okay,
like,
so
you know,
on
you
the
go
east or
through
the west?
east. So up
Okay.
the east coast,
Right.
there's Maine. If you keep going, like near Nova Scotia, up that area, it's like on the western part of the Atlantic.
So is this one of the most northern parts of
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I gotta
So it's
get
way
visual.
far north.
I knew that.
Did you?
You're Googling it right now.
He's like, duh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Anyways,
this.
so
I mean, I got the
yes.
answer right.
Of course. So there you go. And in fact, we still do have some reduced-ish visibilities across our far western counties still being reported here this 11 a.m. hour. But for most of the San Antonio and surrounding areas, visibility, at least here at the ground, pretty good out there. But the reason why we did have a little bit more of this fog development this morning, it was still somewhat cool outside, but we're already starting to work in some more humidity. We need that moisture to form some of that fog. Now, as we head into this afternoon, we're going to try and see the cloud cover that we also saw on hand this morning break up just a little bit more. And if that's the case, those temperatures climb into the mid-70s here in San Antonio. Overnight tonight, we are in the upper 60s. So with that moisture in place, really the morning hours is where you notice that a lot more because those temperatures aren't able to cool down as efficiently. So it is going to be a humid start to your Thursday morning and into Friday. Also because of that humidity moving back in, can't completely rule out an isolated shower or two tomorrow and into Friday. Not looking to be for everybody there. Temperatures in the low 80s, so just a little bit warmer as well. But Friday evening and Friday night is our next chance to find some scattered rain and thunderstorms move in. Essentially, that's when we're expecting our next cold front to approach from the west. With all of that moisture in place and some better dynamics in the atmosphere, it is possible that we find a line of thunderstorms develop somewhere in our area. Better chances of finding that across our far eastern counties. Now, it is worth noting we also do have the potential to find an isolated strong to severe storm. Primary things to monitor there would be some instances of strong gusty winds. I think the window for finding that is pretty small, but we will need to monitor that, especially for some of those Friday evening plans, maybe Friday night football in terms of a lightning strike or two. Again, better chances of finding that across our eastern counties. Still have a lot of details to fine tune when it comes to that over the next 24 to 48 hours. So that's going to be something to check back in on before you do head out for any Friday evening activities. Until then, KSAT 12-hour forecast throughout the remainder of the day today. If we see more of those clouds break up, those temperatures climb into the low to mid 70s. And then if you're stepping out for any evening plans, we'll sit in the low 70s through dinner time. And then those temperatures kind of slow to fall through the overnight thanks to more of that moisture. So still got a lot to look at throughout the rest of the week and into the upcoming weekend. But after that front does move in Friday night, the good news is the weekend's looking pretty good.
Oh, that's good. I have friends that are going to be making some ribs.
Okay.
And I just was asking earlier, Justin, is this going to interfere with any rib plans?
Well, so are they doing it Friday
it's Friday
evening?
night, but I think right before those showers
Okay,
come in,
well
so.
then there you go. Do the ribs and
Yeah.
then go inside and eat them.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
I love that. Ribs
Okay.
on a rainy day. Rainy night. Love that.
Love that. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
You're
Mia.
welcome.
Hey, before we go, we want to remind everyone today is Dia los Muertos, a sacred holiday celebrated throughout Latin America for hundreds of years and more recently here in San Antonio.
Yeah, it honors our loved ones who have passed on, and today many people will take offerings to their loved ones at cemeteries or build ofrendas in their own homes.
So right now on KSAT.com, we asked viewers to tell us who they are honoring. Some of you also sent in your photos of your altars, just Take a look. One viewer says, we celebrate the memory of our beautiful daughter, Monet, whom we lost to COVID-19. She was a talented hairstylist, devoted partner to her fiance, Josh, and brought so much joy and laughter to all her family and friends. She's going to be missed dearly.
That's beautiful. And then Alex's family says he was always the life of the party and would do anything for anyone. So thank you again for submitting these photos. You can still share them on our Day of the Dead page on KSAT.com.
So I think one thing we have to remember, and I think the coverage that we did at Muertos Fest really nailed that home. We're celebrating. It's not a day to be sad.
No.
It's a beautiful day to celebrate. I always get a little teary sometimes, but it's also to remember. Oh yeah, my grandfather really loved whiskey, and he loved it with his ginger ale, so I'm going to leave that out.
Yeah, and one of the things is, as much as it is a celebration too, I believe our station handles it with that much respect as well, because it is a celebration of life, and we approach that with the utmost respect to everyone who has passed.
I really want to do a KSAT big altar at Muertos Fest.
That'd be beautiful.
I mean, it just really inspired me seeing all of the altars out there. So great job to San Antonio. Love to see it.
Yeah, I love seeing those ofrendas out there.
All right, thank you guys. That's all we have today. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Yeah, great time with you, Sarah.
Happy Wednesday. You
Happy
too.
Wednesday. Okay, can we get a high five?